All right. Check. Locking in. What is up, Instagram fam? Hello. We're going to let this populate for a little bit, and we're going to dive deep. One of my goals, my missions this year was to once a week hop on here and share some of the codes, share some of the downloads, share some of the level ups that have taken me from the streets to the skies. And so honored to be able to connect with you all from around the world. So grateful. And I'm so proud of this community, especially what's been flowing through my page. So much positivity, so many deep critical thinkers, so many paradigm shifters, so many people truly standing for love, so many people doing incredible work, so many geniuses in their field. And I just am so grateful for so many of you all for just your presence on this planet. And I know so many of you all who are on the path. I think the one thing that brings us all together is we all have this cohesive dharmic urge to follow our dharmic path and share our gifts, share our light, share our vision, share our truth with the world. And for me, that's what is called world class. World class is not necessarily a destination. World class is an embodiment. World class is when you truly are standing in your gifts. Because the truth is, the gifts that you have, nobody could do those gifts like you. And when you do those, when you share those, when you bring those to life in a authentic, powerful, potent way, that is of service to the world in a way that nobody else could serve the world other than you. And so today, what I want to talk to you all about is what does it take to be world class? And this morning I spent some time and put together 5 pillars that I feel will be really useful to you all to dive into this space of what it means to be world class. So not only are we going to dive into all this, I'm also going to be sharing some homework with you all as well. So first and foremost, just show of hands if you're down for homework, if you're down for a little push, a little nudge in the right direction. You know, 2025 is here. Everybody has these big dreams, these big visions, these big goals when it comes to starting off the new year. But oftentimes after a few weeks, the motivation subsides and people stop going after it. And, you know, being a performance coach for 20 plus years, I've seen it all. And I have enough data to show that most people, unfortunately, don't bring to life what they say they want. And it's not because they can't, it's because there's processes that need to be in play. The difference between world class and average is not as big as you think. The difference between world class and average is really some choices that you make on a regular basis. When you start making different choices, things start changing. That's just how it goes. And so for those that don't know, I've been in this game for so long, became a trainer in 2004. So we're talking 21 years in the game. Went and got my master's degree in psychology in 2011 at the University of Pennsylvania. Currently in my PhD, my doctorate in neuroscience. I've worked in the sports performance field for a very, very long time. Signed to Nike, one of the only trainers signed to Nike, going on my 11th year signed to Nike. So been able to do some amazing work with them. And I've owned a chain of gyms. For those of me who know my Vegas days when I owned Real Results Fitness. Our gym was the most poppin' gym in all of Las Vegas, which eventually grew to 4 gyms plus. So I've been in this game a long time. The last few years has been really about tapping into the more soul side of things in the yoga spaces. And so what I'm sharing with you today is coming from a lot of real world experience. And if you take this to heart, you're guaranteed going to shift something. And so coming into this with the intention of taking just one thing and implementing it, sometimes that one thing is enough to be the tipping point to change everything. So big love, you all. Let's dive into the 5 pillars of what it takes to be world class. So first and foremost, 5 non-negotiables of being world class. Ruthless commitment. Commitment is everything, my friends. As soon as you burn plan B and you say plan A is all I'm entertaining, that's when things become different. That's when things begin to change. Stop throwing out other options than what you're going after. If you say you're going to get in shape, burn the boats, get in shape. If you say this is what you want, I want to get this certification, I want to go to this training, stop entertaining other options. Go for that thing you want. If you're in a relationship or you're in the dating space and you're like, this is what I want, stop entertaining other options. Mediocrity entertains other options. Amateurs entertain other options. World class, and we talked about this in the last lecture, they say, this is what I want, this is what I deserve, this is what I desire, and I'm standing in it. So burn the boats, throw out the options. Discipline over motivation. Everybody's motivated. You could put on an E.T. the Hip Hop Preacher video, get rah-rah and feel hyped. But discipline is doing what you oftentimes hate to do, but doing it like you love it. That's Mike Tyson right there. Discipline says sometimes it's not going to feel good, but I'm going to show up anyway. Discipline says that I'm going to do what I need to do because I love myself to do what I need to do, even if it's uncomfortable. The difference between amateur and world class is that subtle line of discipline to constantly show up because you owe it to yourself, because you deserve that next level. So for those who are on the path, discipline, my friends, shouldn't be something that you think of as a punishment. Discipline should be looked at as one of the purest forms of self-love. It's basically saying to yourself, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to bring my highest expression to life. The second piece of ruthless commitment is the non-negotiable standard. Amateurs can negotiate their ways out of everything. They have an excuse for everything. As long as you're negotiating with yourself, you're sitting in the land of indecisiveness. Indecisiveness, my friends, is one of the most leaky energetic spaces you can be. Decisiveness says, this is where I'm going, this is what I deserve, and I'm not deviating from it. So having non-negotiables in which you stand for, you'll realize the moment you start to stand in your non-negotiables, people start to orient to your non-negotiables. You'll realize once you start to stand in your non-negotiables, they become filters that filter out everybody else who's not with your non-negotiables. So if you begin to see yourself as world-class, you begin to set up standards and non-negotiables around you that reflect world-class. On the flip side, if it's amateur hour at the Apollo, you too are going to allow for anybody to come into your space with dirty shoes on. So what are your non-negotiables? Third, the no way out mindset. No way out. When you finally stand in the notion that success isn't an option, it's the only path, you realize that you'll take whatever path needs to be taken to get to that other side. When it comes to training, this means that you're going to have to do some things different to get what you've never had. One of the most powerful phrases I live by is to get what you've never had, you got to do what you've never done. I'm going to repeat that one more time. To get what you've never had, you got to do what you've never done. So many people think that they can do the same thing and expect different results. And we've all heard that quote that goes, insanity is thinking you could do something different, expect something different to come online. Along those lines, so many people think that they can do the same thing and they're going to bring something else to life. The no way out mindset really says that this is the only way. This is the path. So if you haven't taken some time this year to say, okay, this is the path, these are the hurdles, this is what it's going to take for me to bring this thing to life, whether it be your healing, whether it be a business venture, whether it be a deepening in your relationships, figure out the path. Stop being indecisive, be decisive, and go for it. So action point 1 for this first pillar, ruthless commitment. My friends, define one thing that you will commit to every single day, no matter what, and write it down. So many people get caught up into many things. I want to do this, and that. Save yourself the energy. Do one thing a day that pushes the dial forward, and that is enough to change everything. One thing a day, and it compounds. Do that one thing better, and things begin to shift, because world class and amateur is not a thing that just happens overnight. You're slowly, constantly, moment by moment, moving yourself in one direction or another. So today, do one thing that is an embodiment and expression of your highest expression. Okay, pillar number 2, you have to have an obsession with mastery. Better everyday mentality. This is what we were just touching on, but this is one of the mantras of my gym. Back in the day, we used to all huddle together at the end and we'd go better every day. How can you be better every day? How can you show up in your relationships better every day? How can you be a little more kind every day? How can you nourish yourself a little bit harder, a little bit deeper every day? How can you push the dial forward a little bit more each and every day? First thing I want to say about this better everyday mentality is repetition is the price of greatness. Repetition, my friends. You know, Bruce Lee, and I'm in the process of studying Bruce Lee right now, but he had a famous quote where he goes, "I don't fear the man who has 10,000 kicks, different kicks. I fear the man who's practiced one kick 10,000 times." Precision, the word precision is so potent. Precision and greatness and mastery go hand in hand. And for my yogis out there, I got a lot of yogis on here. Drishti goes into those same lines. Super focus, focal point. Repetition basically is saying, I'm going to continue to show up to my mats. I'm going to continue to show up to the process. I'm going to continue to show up to the work. I'm going to continue to show up to the gym. I'm going to continue to show up to my relationship. I'm going to continue to show up to love long enough for something to come online, for something to begin to blossom, for something to begin to shift. So the greats, they practice, they refine, they tweak again and again and again. That's the pathway to mastery. The other thing I want to say is fall in love with the process. The process, my friends, the process, the practice, the path is the practice. Fall in love with the process, not the destination. So many people want to get to the top of Mount Everest, top of their metaphorical goals, top of their metaphorical dreams, top of their metaphorical whatever that may be, but it's through the process where the real magic comes to life. It's who you become on the way to bringing something to life that is the real magic. That's what you want to be present for. Don't put your head down and look at the ground and then find yourself at the top of the mountain. You miss all the magic of the process. Don't skip the blossoming. Don't skip the becoming. The blossoming is a sacred process and you need to be present for it. So fall in love with the process. And remember, third thing, feedback over ego. So many people are afraid of feedback. Y'all got to check your egos. One of the things we learned in sports and we welcome is when a coach comes up to you and it says, yo, you got to tweak this so you're faster, so you're sharper, so you're more efficient. We welcome that feedback, but oftentimes for people who are on the journey of success, their egos are so out of control, they don't want to receive feedback or they take it all personal. If you're going to be taking things personal, there's no way to grow. Constantly seek out feedback. How can I refine this? How can I be better? How can I be more efficient? How can I be more loving? How can I be more sharp? If the greats, let's say the Muhammad Ali's and the Kobe Bryant's and even we can go even outside of sports, the MLKs and the John Lennons and whoever, the Einsteins, if they all had coaches and mentors, why shouldn't you have coaches and mentors? If they were all constantly receiving feedback, we all should receive feedback. So remember, you can't do it alone. Feedback over ego. Okay? Second action point for this pillar. Identify your weakest link. What is your weakest link? And for the next 30 days, focus on leaning into that weakest link and strengthening it. What is your weakest link? Identify it. You can't heal what you don't name. And this is the opportunity to point the fingers back at yourself because you are the guru. You know yourself best. So be courageous enough to look inside and say, this is what I need to shift. I have an addiction here. I am addicted to this thing or whatever. I don't know how to do this. I do need help. That's power, my friends. It's not weakness. And for my men out there who think that asking for help is weakness, y'all are tripping. Y'all gotta reframe that mentality. Asking for help is power. Okay? Asking for help is power, my friends. Third pillar of this lecture today. Unshakable mental toughness. It's really about building your mental reservoirs, really about building your mindset. Okay? You control your mind, you control the game. Mental resilience is everything. It separates the champions from the quitters. So you need to train your body like you train your mind. If you're not actively learning to calm the mind, to sit in meditation, to harness your focus, to be precise with your thoughts. You're always going to be a slave to random thought processes. They say that the mind is an incredible servant, but a horrible master. So many people are victims to their own thoughts. They're ruminating, they're replaying, they're reliving the past again and again and again and again and again and again. And that's why they keep repeating the same patterns. Train your mind like you train your body. And at this juncture in history, we have access to all of the tools of ascension and mastery from all schools of thought. So pick your color. Maybe it's Qigong. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's martial arts. Maybe it's yoga. Maybe it's running. Choose your own adventure. Feel what feels good for you and dive into it. The second thing is turn pain into power. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were going through this challenge, and I brought up the concept of gratitude, and they were like, I don't want to hear about gratitude during this time. Well, the truth is, in the center of every painful experience, every traumatic experience, every challenge, every failure, there are seeds of blessings. I know that to be true. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, when my mom passed, I was able to see the blessing in it. When my father passed, I was able to see the blessing in it. So many people, when they get hit with some pain, they think that's a problem. But the truth is, when you really start to train your mind, even in the pain, you see the power. And training is such a great opportunity to train your mind to see the pain and the power, because in the burn, you can begin to learn to focus your mind on the potential of the moment, the threshold. So daily, put yourself in a space where you're at a threshold and you choose positivity in the threshold. Becomes a game changer. Third, zero excuses mentality. Stop the excuses. Stop the excuses. World class, we don't have excuses. We have solutions. Excuse, I'm not here because of this. I'm not here because of them. If I was just a little bit fitter, if I was just a little bit more wealthy, if I had a little bit more time, if my skin color wasn't so dark, if my socioeconomic situation wasn't what it was. Check it out. There's so many testaments and examples in history of people who were enslaved, people who were utterly oppressed beyond anything any of us could have ever imagined, and they were able to still self-actualize. So throw that out. Zero excuse mentality. Your ancestors sacrificed way too much for you to be up here in this modern Western world where you have access to hot water and all the resources at the click of a button, and you got excuses still of why you can't do what you want to do. The only person holding us back ever is ourselves. That's the mentality of a victor. A victim mentality is saying the world is happening to me and I'm at the mercy of the world. A champion mentality is saying I'm happening to the world. I'm happening to the world. I'm happening to the world. Make sense, y'all? Action point for this pillar. Weekly, set up at least one discomfort challenge. Whether it be like an ice bath, a fasting, a waking up earlier, something that forces you into mental toughness. And for those of my people out there who are training every day, there's nothing like the gym. But guess what? So many people I know go to the gym and float, especially right now here in Bali. I go to like some of these gyms out here and these chicks are on. They're for one, and I don't understand this, how people go to the gym with full makeup on. That's a whole nother lecture. But they're on their phones the entire time and they're floating by, and you see them, months pass by, and the next thing you know, they're still in the same place. So actually put yourself in a space of discomfort. And each time you go into the space of discomfort, put yourself in a space to really receive the magic and the power of the moment of being uncomfortable and training the mind. Fourth thing I want to talk about, relentless execution. Relentless execution, okay? Execution is key when it comes to world class. This is why world class gets paid the big bucks. Perfection kills progress. We're not here to be perfect, my friends. Stop getting caught up in perfection. Stop getting caught up in perfection. Perfection doesn't exist. Instead of being perfect, just produce, share, show up, and show up messy, and then refine. Show up messy and then refine, okay? Stop overthinking and start moving fast. Make decisions with confidence. This is what I want, this is what I deserve, and this is what I desire. Okay? Again, decisiveness wins. When we're fractured, when our energy's fractured, when our focus is fractured, when we're constantly moving in all these directions, it's hard to tap in to our highest potential. It's hard to tap into the potency that lives within. This is my why, this is my path, this is my mission. Boom. Focus and go. And course correct and fix as you go, but know where you're going, okay? Volume plus consistency, my friends, equals domination. Chop wood, carry water. Y'all hear me talk about it all the time. Chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Vibrating high is an emanation of training your nervous system to vibrate at a level that is high. Does that make sense, y'all? Being in the doldrums, being at a low vibratory state, not seeing the world for the beauty, being in a state of lack of gratitude, being in a state where the world happens to me, being in a state of misery is a nervous system state. It's a state. It's a vibrational state. You can train your vibrational state. So are you training your vibrational state to vibrate high, or are you training yourself to vibrate low? Where are you putting in the reps? Are you putting in the reps to vibrate lower, or are you putting in the reps to vibrate higher? If you're not putting in the reps to vibrate higher, it's time to start putting in the reps to vibrate higher. Reps on reps on reps, okay? Action point for this pillar. Pick one area where you've been waiting too long to take immediate action, and take action today. So if that guy out there that you've been dating for a while is just absolutely whack and you just like keep hanging on, man, you need to let that dude go and create some space. If you've been saying you're trying to go to the gym and like you've been talking about it, just go. Just go today. Stop waiting, okay? Fifth one, final one. Separation through sacrifice. You got to pay the price for greatness. Just remember, most people won't do it, which is why most people stay at average. Average jobs, average love, average purpose, average health, but not you. The world class separate themselves by making choices that most won't make. Less distraction, my friends, and more discipline, and a lot fewer excuses. Does that make sense? Okay. Trade comfort for legacy. When you start thinking about what is the legacy I'm leaving, you'll be more open to be uncomfortable. Think about like a great-great-grandpa or a great ancestor and the sacrifices they made. They probably were uncomfortable to lay down a legacy that you're feeding off of today. So when you start thinking about why am I doing this, think about something bigger than you. Think about how you're going to be able to show up for your community. Think about how you're going to be able to show up for others. Think about how you're going to be able to show up for the next generations when you're vibrating at your highest level. And audit your circle. Look at your circle. Who in your circle is vibrating at the same level? If you're carrying a whole bunch of people around, it's going to be really hard to vibrate as high as possible. If you're the one only carrying these people, make sure your circle is also world class. In my space, we call it G7 level humans. G7 is the people in my life who are vibrating high, who are playing world class ball too, because when you're doing it with others who are also committed to the path, it makes things a lot easier. And the final action point for this one is to identify one sacrifice you need to make right now and then commit to cutting it out for 90 days. Okay? And so my closing challenge is, and question is, are you built for this? Yes or no? It's a question and it's opening. Are you built for it? And if you're like, nah, then just own it. You know what? I'm cool. I'm cool with being comfortable. I'm cool. That's cool too. All right, so this is the challenge, okay? I want you to write down your non-negotiable daily commitment. I want you to write down the weakest link, your weakest link that you need to like lock in and strengthen. And finally, the sacrifices you need to make to level up, okay? One more time, your non-negotiable daily commitment, the weakest link that you have that you need to strengthen, and the sacrifices you need to level up. Super proud of you all. A lot of game there, okay? This is all about what it takes to be world class. My friends, you deserve the world. You deserve the best of the best of the best. We're here in 2025, and I truly believe that it is separation season. Separation season, meaning what you're going to see happen over the coming months and the coming years, and what's been happening since our world has been thrust into this new paradigm, I would say like 2020, 2019, is you're going to see a gap begin to widen. And the gap is really not necessarily a gap of who has it and who doesn't. The gap is really a gap of who truly chooses themselves and chooses to tap into the power that is accessible to them, and who continues to choose to be passive players in an unlimited game where every tool is accessible at these very moments. This is the separation. This is the great separation. It's not love and hate, my friends. It's love and fear. It's not love and hate. It's expansion and staying small. Choosing love is sometimes choosing a path that is harder. Choosing love is sometimes choosing to be uncomfortable. And I ask, people a lot, can you love yourself enough to struggle? Can you love yourself enough to struggle? Can you love yourself to make the harder choices? Can you love yourself enough to leave the things that no longer serve you? Can you love yourself enough to commit to a process long enough for something beautiful to come online? Can you love yourself enough to invest in yourself? Can you love yourself enough to walk away from what no longer serves you? Can you love yourself enough to say, I don't know how to fix this thing that has been haunting me? Can you love yourself enough to bring everything that is holding you back to the altar of a community or to a support system or to a therapeutic model? Can you love yourself enough to choose yourself in the face of rejection? Can you love yourself to walk away from what no longer serves you? Can you love yourself enough to walk alone long enough to find the things that are actually truly for you? This is what separation season is all about. This is the beauty of these times, is the opportunity. The opportunity, my friends, that has been built not through just you, but through the sacrifices of our ancestors, through so much pain and struggle and hardship to be alive at this time, for you not to choose self-actualization in a time where everything is possible is a disrespect to our entire lineages. And I see some of you all here, I've seen some comments and they're like, well, where do I start? You just start. As soon as it's in your awareness, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. One of my starting points was the gym. I started taking it started unlocking deeper levels of awareness. Yoga is a great starting point. Tried and true technology, 3,000-4,000 years old, that says, tune in, that in the moment, that being rooted in ahimsa, your heart, and being rooted in satya, your truth, things change. Maybe you start with martial arts. Maybe you start with a therapist. Maybe you start with bringing some of your friends together and saying, hey, this is a dream that I have deep down in my soul and I want to bring it to life. What do you all think? It's also important to remember, and this is the last thing I'll say, when it comes to healing, when it comes to going world class, when it comes to expansion, it's really important that the people around you, that you're surrounding yourself with people that also get it. Because there's no way that you're going to say, hey, I'm going to the moon, and a person's not even down to leave their block. There's no way that you can say to a person, I'm about to get as healthy as I've ever been in my life, and the person in their support system is completely addicted to alcohol or to some other things. So part of self-love is being mindful of who is in your circle. And as you begin to expand into a world-class energy, you only have space to entertain world-class energies. Now, obviously, we have our parents and the blood family that are just part of the fam, and you can't cut all those people off, nor do you want to. But all the extra energies, the energies that de-amplify you, the energies that deplete you, the energies that make you feel like not expanded, the energies that hold you back, the energies that don't make you feel loved, the energies that throw shade on your dreams and your goals and your vision, the energies that are not fully in support of who you know you can become, you got to get rid of them. You got to just cut them out from a space of self-love. I put people in 3 categories: nooses, anchors, lifelines. Nooses, people who energetically strangle me out. I just can't do it. They're not healthy for me. They're killing me. Anchors, they're people that just weigh me down. They just don't feel good. And then lifelines, people who build me up. Some people, here's a bar I'm going to leave y'all with. Some people feel like the workout, the burn of a workout. Some people feel like the water after the work, the refreshment, the expansion, the nourishment. So open up the spaces for those people to be on your journey. Build your world-class team and watch how the game changes. So with that being said, I wanted to come on here and just share some game with you all. We are moving fast into 2025. Tune in. Everything is possible. Each and every one of you deserves the best of the best of the best of the best, but you got to believe it. And I only speak from my experience. I'm not here to be some pretendo influencer that doesn't know the pain of struggle, or that is here to pretend like, 5 steps and you're just going to be enlightened, or to sell you and put you in a course and sell you into the next course and the next course. No, I'm here to tell you that if you chop wood, carry water long enough, the work really does work. And I feel very fortunate and blessed to have been on this journey from the streets to the skies, from the projects of Vegas to a place where I can share honestly from my heart that this work does work. 22 plus years in the game. And so I believe in you. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for existing. Thank you for being you. Remember, it's a new day. So whatever mistakes you made, learn from them. They're there to grow you. Continue to trust yourself, continue to trust your heart, continue to lead with love, continue to listen to your soul, continue to quiet your surroundings long enough to hear yourself again. Continue to stand in your truth, continue to make hard decisions that you need to make because you know they're the best for you. Continue to train hard, continue to demand excellence, not perfection, excellence. Not perfection, excellence. Not perfection, excellence, my friends. Not perfection, excellence. And enjoy the process. Enjoy the ride. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with the single step. And so stop thinking about the destination. World class begins the moment you step towards world class. So take a step. Make it today. Stop waiting. Stop holding back. And start now. Okay. Lecture done. We good? Thank you. I appreciate you all. I'm grateful. I got Mongolia. I got to come to Mongolia. It's going to happen. Appreciate each and every one of you. A lot of powerful people on here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a lot of world-class individuals I'm so blessed to be connected with. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you all. And shout out to each and every one of you for continuing to share your gift and share your light. And just know, I read all the comments. I run my entire Instagram. It is way too much to handle for me at the moment. But I do read every one of your comments. And so I'm so grateful for everything you all share. Continue to share the magic. Continue to share the wisdom. Let's continue to up level. Let's continue to expand together. What's up, Shu? Shout out to the yellow dragon. So grateful, and today's the day, my friends, so carpe diem. Until next time, big love, y'all. Peace.